Why practice speaking English with natives will not make you fluent. Naturals, we have to talk. This is an important topic because so many English learners think that, oh, just speaking with natives will make me fluent. And that is not the truth. That is not going to make you fluent. Yes, it's one thing that you definitely should do. However, it is not the only thing to do, and it's not going to bring you to your advanced fluency level that you so desire to have. Let me tell you why. First of all, let me share a little example. I love learning salsa dance. Any of you dance salsa or other kinds of music? So I have danced socially, meaning with other dancers just for fun, for about, I would say, close to 20 years. However, that you would think I would be good. And I can hold my own, meaning hold my own means I do all right, but I would say I am at an intermediate level of dancing salsa because I never took lessons until now, and I'll tell you why. After 20 years of dancing salsa in nightclubs and family parties and social events, I finally decided to take lessons because I realized that I was missing the details. I was missing those precise movements or the knowledge of really how to be an advanced salsa dancer. And I couldn't learn that on my own, just dancing with other people, even dancing with people much, much better than myself. I could not learn it on my own. I couldn't learn it just reading about it or even watching videos about it. I had to take lessons. I had to humble myself and say, okay, maybe I need some help with the details. And luckily I found a really great dance school and I am taking lessons and improving. But this is very similar to learning English because yes, you can learn by speaking English with natives. However, you're going to miss out on the details that make you a fluent English speaker. Let me tell you why, because there is a science to this. When you're in a conversation, like a live, real life conversation, you're in the moment. You don't have time to process or even recognize words or phrases that you don't know yet. So you're not gonna learn new structures, new phrases, new vocabulary words, because you're so busy just trying to understand what is coming at you. I mean, what the other person is saying, right? And also at the same time thinking about how you're going to respond, what are you going to say, that there's no time for you to learn new words in a real life conversation. Also, it is not your native speaker friend or colleague's job to teach you English. If you have a very nice and patient friend willing to actually teach you, that's amazing. I mean, friend being someone more fluent or a native speaker, that's amazing. However, they've just become your teacher and you're not actually having fluent conversation if they're teaching you. Now it's a lesson, so it's different. So, okay. You're not gonna learn from a native speaker having a normal, fluent, fast conversation because it's not their job to slow down and say, hey, let me teach you some new advanced vocabulary. Oh, maybe you didn't catch this phrase I said. They're not gonna realize if you didn't understand an idiom or some slang that they used. They're gonna assume that you understood because it's not their job to teach you. If they are an English teacher, that's great, but most people are not English teachers and they won't realize if a phrase is something you may not have heard before. And 3, it's not their job to correct your mistakes. This is the biggest part of this is that it's actually quite rude for people to correct your mistakes if they're not your teacher. So even if you ask your native English speaker friends to correct your mistakes, they probably won't do it because it's really awkward to stop a conversation all the time. Maybe they'll do it once or twice, but to be honest, I've been there. I've had so many friends ask me to correct their mistakes. And, at times I've even said, sure, of course I will. But the honest truth is, we just don't want to do that because it's rude and it slows down actual communication if we're having a real conversation and we want to, express ourselves and communicate things. So it's different to actually have a lesson and someone who will give you feedback, a teacher, a tutor who will give you corrective feedback and say, hey, that's not correct. You need to change this. People can't do this in a regular, normal conversation because it is quite rude. Also, you're not always aware of your own mistakes. Sometimes, yes, oh my gosh, I just made a mistake. You know that feeling? But I swear, more than half of the time, you don't even know when you're making a mistake because you cannot see your own blind spots. Everyone has them. So you need someone else to tell you when you're making that mistake in order to improve, or else you're gonna stay stuck at the intermediate level. And that's what I said before about why so many English language learners stay stuck at the intermediate level, because you're a little bit too trusting in your own ability to learn through real life conversation only, and you give up on taking lessons. But English is a lifelong journey, and until you're really happy with your fluency level, you have to keep taking lessons and get that corrective feedback. I have so many students who are really advanced in English, but they haven't given up on really perfecting their everything, pronunciation, accent, the flow, the fluency in the way they speak, the vocabulary. You can always grow your vocabulary and so much more. Also, native English speakers don't want to be seen as just a tool for you to improve your English. So if you're approaching someone saying, hey, can I practice my English with you? It might be cute and fun for them for about 15 minutes, but after that, it's probably not going to be fun anymore for them. So I know a lot of people who've traveled abroad and they get approached by English learners saying, hey, can I just talk with you for a little bit? And it's cute and it's fun and it's nice to connect with people, but that's not a consistent way to advance your English. So to summarize, what you need is not only speaking English, practicing English with native English speakers, but also you need someone or something to help you grow your vocabulary and perfect your speaking, your writing, your structure, your grammar. In other words, to correct your mistakes, especially in speaking, because we focus a lot on speaking here, but also in writing. And you need a lot of repetition. The other thing I forgot to mention quickly, when you're having real life conversations, is you're not gonna have repetition. It is said that you need to hear and see a new word 30 times in order to actually learn it. Imagine having a conversation where you hear a new word 30 times. It's just not gonna happen. So a real life conversation is more to test your skills, to say, hey, I learned these moves in dance class, now I'm gonna try them on the dance floor. Hey, I learned these phrases in my English lesson. Hey, I learned I was making these mistakes when my teacher corrected me. Now I'm gonna try using these new phrases and not making mistakes in the real world. And that's really how you need to structure your English learning. Now, this is what I do with my students in my Fluent Communication course. So I'm not saying that you have to learn with me, but if you think you might like to, I invite you to learn more about my Fluent Communication course at gonatural.english.com/pre-reg. When you sign up with your name and your email address, I'm going to email you information about how you can learn advanced English phrases and get corrections on your spoken and written English through my program, and it works so well. I have tens of thousands of students who have gone through the program and improved their English, and you can check that out on the testimonials page. Students who have gotten better paying jobs, students who have gained more confidence in their English speaking and advanced their fluency. And a lot of the program is about practice and repetition and breaking down real life native English speaker conversations so that you do feel confident when you are in a real world English speaking conversation. You don't feel stuck, you don't feel lost, and you don't feel alone as if no one understands you. Through my program, you're never going to be alone. You always have my support, your classmates' support, and you have a community to help you and encourage you and motivate you to keep going. You have corrective feedback, meaning I'll tell you when you make a mistake so you can correct it, and you have all the materials that you need to advance your vocabulary, your understanding of how to use the vocabulary, not just like in a list of vocabulary words, but how we use vocabulary in the real world, in real conversations, so that when you do have a real conversation, you are so prepared, you are so ready, you are so confident and powerful in your English speaking. So again, don't just rely on practice speaking with native English speakers. Make sure that you build your skills, kind of like going to a dance class, practice a lot, and then you'll be ready for the dance floor or English conversation. All right, let me know what you think about this, and I'll be looking for you in the comments. And again, one last time, that link to get more information about my Fluent communication course is gonaturalelenglish.com/pre-reg. It's free to get information. The course is not free, but again, if you sign up with your name and email, I'll be happy to send you some free information so you can decide if it's right for you. So I'll see you over there. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.